New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon, in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
100 years is a long time. That's how long Lux Chevrolet has been selling cars and trucks. Whether you need a new Chevy, a used vehicle, or service and parts for your GM vehicle, Lux Chevrolet has the resources, knowledge, and personnel to make your experience efficient and enjoyable. Give them a call at 804-798-9261. Visit them online at luxchevrolet.com or in person on Route 1 in Ashland. Buy your next truck from Lux Chevrolet in Ashland.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. Every take from a real NFL insider and television analyst.
Now get ready for the NFL show where the conversation gets real and the fans get a voice. It's time for the Lake Lewis Jr. Show here on ESPN Radio.
Welcome, everyone, to the Lake Lewis Jr. Show. Appreciate you joining me, as always, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN Radio Richmond, 106.1 FM. Busy show. If you are an NFL fan, obviously this is your show. This is the show for you to be able to call in and say whatever you want, talk about whatever you want. And we've got a lot to talk about because this is one of those times of the year that me as a NFL reporter, insider, whatever you want to call me, I got to tell you, it's exciting times to see faces change teams, to see teams, sell hope to their fan bases out there. And one of the fan bases that I cover all the time, every day, is the Washington Commanders. And their fan base right now, and I'm not going to put everybody in the same basket. You can't stereotype and lump everybody together. That's the problem with the world today. But the problem is a lot of the fans for the Commanders are really upset about their selections as far as free agency, as far as who they threw money at. And we knew Washington was going to come into this thing with a lot of money. They had the third most amount of cap money, looking at like 90 million to play with. And, so people are like, they haven't done anything. And I want to be the voice of reason for you. I want you. I know it's Tuesday, and you probably went to church on Sunday, but tonight we're going to try to take you to church a little bit and just calm your nerves and give you some hope, give you some faith, because I think what the Commanders have done has been pretty smart. So what I always do before I let everyone know how you can call in on the show, it's very simple. It's 804-327-0888. Once again, 804-327-0888. We're streaming live right now on ESPNRichmond.com. This is where I normally would throw it to my super producer, but now I'm going to send it to my super, I can't even say co-host or anything like that, because he's the guy here at ESPN Richmond. He's got his own show, which you can hear in the mornings from 8 to 10 o'clock. And I'm talking about my good friend, Mr. Jack Fitzpatrick. What's going on, Jack?
Hey, good afternoon, evening, Lake. It's different feeling here talking to you after 6 p.m. But happy to be here. Alan's down in Charlotte, North Carolina, catching some Virginia Tech Wake Forest. So I put on the producer headset and I'm here to help, here to talk about the Commanders' wild and wonderful offseason so far.
So this actually worked out pretty good because, not that I don't want Alan here, of course, but when I walked in and I saw Jack, I'm like, wait, whoa. Where's Alan? He said, he's covering the ACC tournament and I'm going to handle it with you. And I'm like, oh, I'm good then. I'm good. So let's talk about this, because I'm sure you've seen some Commanders fans, Jack, that are really upset right now. And I don't want to say this is the X generation, of fans, but I'm going to say that that's the generation of fans that's really upset. I think the older heads like myself, we understand Rome wasn't built in a day. This is a football team that just 2 years ago was playing to get to the Super Bowl. They were in the NFC Championship game last year, besieged by injuries, and you saw the deficiencies on defense and some things like that. What did they do? The first day, they signed a legit edge rusher who's 26 years old, who, by the way, is a Nittany Lion. Got to throw that in there. As we used to know him at Penn State, Jason Owe. Well, obviously he changed that. And it's not Adafe, folks. It's Adafe. It's Adafe Owe. So they signed him 4 years, $100 million. I couldn't be more happy for this team. They have an edge rusher now who's young, athletic, fast, something they didn't have.
Yeah, and it's $68 million guaranteed. That $100 million mark might scare some fans, but we all know that's funny money.
Yes.
And the only money you really want to look at is the guaranteed, and it's $68 million, 4 years. That's really good average annual value for him. And look, I am a little worrisome of Owe. I'll be honest, because he was bad to start last season. He's kind of flashed.
I was going to say he shows you flashes.
And then he flashed really well down the tail end of last season with the Chargers. Is that the real Owe, or is the real Owe what we saw when he began his career? That's the biggest question. But you don't have to invest all that much in him for a high upside edge, $68 million guaranteed over 4 years. You love that, and probably how that contract is structured. You probably got a really good out after 2 years.
Yeah, and think about it. This team still has the 7th pick in the draft. There's going to be more than likely a stud defensive player sitting there for them, so they still can add to this defense. They went out and they signed Robertson, the cornerback from Detroit, who's a physical, gutsy, plays with a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, a Dan Quinn type guy. So did they bring him in to be a starting corner opposite maybe, Amos on the other side? I don't think so. I think what's in play here is that I know Noah Igbinoghene is going to get a lot of looks. If he hasn't signed by the time I've gotten on the air today with someone, he's getting looks. So that could be an insurance policy for your third or fourth cornerback,
which is desperately needed.
Absolutely.
Because this team has dealt with defensive back kind of lack of depth these last couple of seasons, even when they made it to the NFC Championship game. And again, that deal, a very team-friendly deal as well. That what they have done so far in free agency because I might be in that Generation X that you're talking about, Lake, a little bit, but I'm in the same boat as you, where it's just like, I think they've made all the right moves. They haven't overpaid for anyone, which feels wild to say about a Washington team that was known for overpaying in the Dan Snyder years. They've hit a bunch of singles, and at this point, if you can't hit the home run, go for the singles.
And then on top of that, let's come on now. I mean, probably the second or third most talented player on their roster was Laramie Tunsil. If you want to go Jaden Terry, then Laramie.
And it was a needed extension.
A needed extension. They got that taken care of. So you know that Jaden's blind spot is taken care of. And Laramie Tunsil, I'm going to flat out say it, for him not to be a Pro Bowler this year was criminal. And the reason why he didn't get Pro Bowl accolades this year was because the team was terrible. If they were a playoff team, I assure you he would have had another Pro Bowl under his belt. He already has 5 to his name. He would have had 6. There's no one debating that this guy's one of the best at his position. And he's been the guy that's been a trendsetter. You know, he's the first left tackle to get 25 a year, 30 a year. And now look at what he's getting now. So for Laramie, good for him. That's my guy. I'm happy for him that he's getting paid. He's deserving of that. But I think the fans really have to understand that, you know, the season doesn't start tomorrow. They're not kicking off the 2026 season on Wednesday, you know, or Tuesday or yesterday. They still have months away to get this team right, to still invest. There's going to be some other guys released that you don't know about right now. They're going to be there. So there's going to be opportunity for the Commanders to get better. If they were to go out and get some other guys who are still available, you know, I'm a big, you know, Chig Okonkwo, you know, fan. I think that he could be a guy that could do some damage if possible.
I have to get used to how to work the board again on this side. No, yeah, I fully agree with you. And it's going to be really intriguing to see where they go out and kind of go from here as well, because there are a lot of different options. I've got my eyes set on Deebo Samuel. I think that's a free agent they've got to bring back because of how Dan Quinn raved about him at the NFL Combine.
He got him paid. We were both standing there.
He got him a couple extra million.
He absolutely did. We were there in Indy, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, that doesn't sound like a coach that feels like his players moving on. That sounds like a coach just like, no, he's part of our plans, and the way he was talking about him. So the fact that they did throw money at Romeo Doubs, I will tell you that. I do know that verbatim.
And they threw money at Alec Pierce.
And they threw money at Alec Pierce. But this is the thing. I think fans, again, this is like I said, we're going to take you to church tonight. I need you to just relax. You have to understand that some of these receivers are looking at Washington in the situation of, not that they're not a good football team, not that they don't have a great young quarterback, which they do. It's, do I want to go to Washington and be a third wheel? Do I want to go to Washington and not be a 1? Maybe not be a 2, because Brandon Ayuk is in play. And I'm sorry if people don't want to accept that, but that is a fact. Okay. He's in play. I know that. Okay. So now if you bring Deebo back, you've got your 3 receivers pretty much. And then you top it off with Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, the VT product, you know, so that's where they're looking at that. And then obviously they re-signed Treylon Burks too. So just this whole dire straits, the sky is falling mentality from fans. It's just ridiculous right now.
And that's just what the offseason is, right? If your GM hasn't made any signings, if your coach hasn't done anything, it's because your GM stinks, your coach doesn't know what he's doing, your owner's cheap. That's the old adage, right? That's what we know at this point.
Well, I think a lot of the fans and you know, for the Burgundy and Gold feel that way. Look, we've got a caller already, so we have a caller on the line. So you're on with me. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Lake. How you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind, my friend?
Man, I'm just so excited to see what AP.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is, you know what? I got to apologize. This is my guy right here. This is Gerard. What's up, man? You know what?
What's up, Lake?
So when you came on, I you know, so Jack, it's no problem, but he didn't tell me who it was. He just said, I have a caller in here, but I can see in front of me. It's Gerard. So what's going on, man?
Hey, Lake, I just want to surprise you a little bit and give a call in tonight.
That's all good, brother. That's all good. And listen, this guy right here is one of the passionate fans, you know, has tickets, season tickets. You know, he's one of the real ones up in the DC area that supports the Burgundy and Gold. And I know, you've been seeing some of your fan base brethren up there going off the deep edge. Can you walk them back a little bit?
Yes, I have been. It's a touchy situation. We've been down and out for so long as a fan base in everything we done been through. But we have to keep the faith in AP. He's cooking. Right now he's just using the crock pot. So just a little bit slower, but he got those ingredients in there. I truly believe that, So all I say to the fan is keep the faith, hold on, and let AP do his magic. That's what's about to happen, and just hold on. That's where I'm at with it.
It's already been happening, and I love what you're saying. Hold on, just relax, because they signed a young edge rusher, 26 years old, and that's something that this team desperately needed. Not just an edge rusher or any old edge rusher, but they needed one that has youth on his side. They need one that his best days aren't behind him, but they're still ahead of him, that can get, faster, more athletic. And they're not done in that department, because they still have a draft coming up where there should be a stud defensive player sitting there. So I think for the fans out there, when they feel like you have money, and you remember when we did our fan show, you guys were saying the same thing. Don't go out and just spend the money because you have it. Doesn't mean that your investment is always going to be good on your return. Just because you spent money on something, you've got to spend money on the right pieces. And that's where I think Adam needs to just be given, the benefit of the doubt. This team was in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago off moves that he made to fix a roster that was pretty bad and one that they inherited. So I agree with you. Fans just need to relax right now.
Yes, just relax. And it's just day 2, in free agency. So I truly believe that once we see the vision and see the new guys that they put forth, we have 2 new coordinators. So we're going to make everything work together, get our players, and even everything out with truly be balanced. That's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping they can pick up another corner, though, with some size. Robertson, he's fine, but he's a little short to me. So I think we need somebody with some size.
It's funny you say that. I do got to let you go, my friend, but I greatly appreciate you calling in. You can call in anytime and we'll chop it up. But I appreciate you calling. All right. We got another caller on the line, and we have Mike B. Okay, so I think, so Mike, we'll see if he calls back. All right. So, yeah, I'm sure, Jack, you heard that. He said they need a corner with some size. And I already knew who you started thinking about. Is there a chance that Woolen?
I mean, maybe. The fact that he's not been signed yet is kind of shocking.
That's scary, isn't it?
Tariq Woolen, he'd fit in. I mean, he's like 6'3". He's lengthy. He's a big guy. He's handsy. He has plush traits.
6'4".
6'4". He's got plush traits. I mean, he's a dog, but he's also a little bit of a head case.
Yeah, but you got to give him credit. He helped your guys win a Super Bowl this year.
He almost nearly cost him the NFC Championship game, but that's besides the point. No, you're not wrong. I think Woolen, if he slots in somewhere as a cornerback 2 type of guy, he's not a CB1 kind of like he was early on in his career, especially what he showed his rookie campaign. But I think he's got a lot of plus side if he fits into a defense well, and he's kind of molded that way and is kind of taken under maybe a veteran's wing.
Do you think that would be an upgrade for the Commanders if they could pull that off inside?
Yes, because the Commanders' DB room is just bleh.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. Well, look, folks, we've got to take a break, and we got so much more to come up. I've got a good friend of mine coming on shortly. Cortland Griffin does an awesome job breaking down the draft, scouts, players, but this guy knows all these free agents as well. So I want to get his take. He also covers the Tennessee Titans too. So I don't want that to go remiss, because they've been doing some work down there in Tennessee too. So we'll get a lot from him when he comes on with us, but we'll take a quick break. You're listening to the Lake Lewis Jr. Show.
WorkZone is the one-stop shop for the hardworking man and woman. When it comes to the biggest selection, WorkZone has it. Over 15 brands of boots in all toe types, even boots for the ladies. WorkZone has jackets in stock for all seasons, from cold weather to lightweight. See why WorkZone will be your first and only stop for the best brands and comfort and workwear. And a gift card from WorkZone is always the perfect gift. Visit WorkZone on Temple Avenue, next to the Ford dealership, WorkZoneVA.com, and check them out on Instagram and Facebook.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now, 800-810-1584, 800-810-1584, 800-810-1584. That's 800-810-1584.
For over 20 years, Davidson Roofing Company has proudly served the greater Richmond area, earning the trust of 19,000 customers. Davidson Roofing is proud to be ranked among the top 45 roofing contractors with GAF across the country, and named Best Roofing Company by Richmond Times-Dispatch for 9 of the last 11 years, including 2025. When it comes to protecting your home, choose the locally owned and trusted team at Davidson Roofing. Call or visit online at davidsonroofing.com.
Fits the Bill is serving up sizzling sports talk.
If you get ranch with your wings, that's not correct.
With a side of scorching food thoughts.
But you take a tuna fish sandwich, barbecue chips, throw that on there, crunch it up, delicious.
Fits the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick, where every take is well done. Weekdays 8 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lake Lewis Jr. Show right here on ESPN Radio and ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM. You know, Jack, I got to tell you, I was curious to see what kind of music selection you were going to have for me because, you know, that's a thing. That's a thing with Al and me. So,
well, I remember what you said to me in Indy. You didn't think I had good music taste, which I took a little offense to. So,
well, I think there was a reason for that.
No, that's what took me off guard so much. There was no reason for it.
Maybe I was just
tripping.
Yeah, I was probably just mad about something that was there. You know, maybe it was when they were trying to tell us we couldn't do something, and then they came back and apologized. So yeah, that was all good. So yeah, so look, we do have is Mike B still there? All right, so Mike B's joining us. He's called in. What's going on, Mike?
Lake, what's happening, brother? Happy Tuesday, man.
Happy Tuesday to you as well, and I'm glad the key word is happy. Are you a happy camper right now? Because a lot of the fan bases, they're a little livid right now. I don't understand why.
It's DC. We gotta overreact, man. We play our part when we're in DC. You gotta be hostile and upset. You know. Brother G, he's got the spot on analogy. It's, you know, we're not used to crock pot. We want microwave, and then of course you see teams like the Raiders, who I was telling the fellas that they obviously don't know what tampering is. They were assaulting folk. I mean, they was.
I mean, they had a list lined up, didn't they? I mean, my goodness, they look like did they get a whole new roster on free agency? Look, they're spending the money, and see, I think that's where some of the discontent is right now with some of the fans, you know, in Washington, is that they're looking at the Commanders as a team that had, you know, the third most available money to spend for free agency. Yeah. And they're not spending it. Well, that's not true. And I can say I do know that offers were made to certain players, and certain players decided, you know, what was best for them. You know, the saying was best for me and my family, you know, so they decided what was best for them and their family were to go somewhere else. And in the case of Romeo Doubs, when people are like, I can't believe that Adam couldn't pull that off. Why would Romeo Doubs come to Washington where he's not going to be the number one receiver, and there's a chance that he may not even be the number two receiver, you know? So,
yeah.
And when he can be featured,
that's a bad deal.
Yeah. When he can be featured in New England with Drake May, obviously Stephon Diggs is gone. They released him. So they're looking for a premier number one wide receiver in New England, and he can fill that void. And he also got a little bit more money than what Washington was offering at the same time, too. So it wasn't like Washington lowballed. It's just that they're not going to. Adams not going to reset the market.
No, he's not. Although now, what I was hearing about how high he was jumping for Pierce, kind of, I was like, that Adam was jumping that high. That's what the rumor on the street was.
Yeah, that's what word on the
jumped
street.
Pretty high and didn't get it.
Yeah, but see, I think a lot of people look at Alex Pierce, except for the Colts, of course. They look at him obviously as a number one, and he's going to have to be because Michael Pittman's gone now to Pittsburgh. They traded him. So,
yes.
You know, but I think a lot of people looked at Alex Pierce as the type of guy. I don't want to say a one-trick pony, but he's a deep threat. He's a vertical threat, which obviously Washington could use. But do you want to overpay for something like that?
Correct.
And again, you know, Indianapolis came back with an offer that he couldn't refuse. So I appreciate it, my friend. You know, this is radio, and we got to keep it moving. But I appreciate you calling in.
I know it. Hopefully, I'll see you Friday, man. I appreciate you.
All right, fam. I appreciate you. All right, we got another call.
Care.
You all right? Appreciate you. Yep, we have another call. We have Raleigh calling, and these folks are listening from all over the country. This is good stuff. I appreciate that. So, Raleigh, if I'm not mistaken, you're in Texas.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in Austin, Texas, and Lake. I'm glad that I could catch your show tonight, especially this week.
Yeah.
But I got to say this. I'm you said I'm an old head, so I'm kind of patient. I know the fans are excited, and we're instant gratification society.
Yeah, we sure are.
It does make it tough. But I was also, you know, once again, just want to remind folks, as you have, that, AP has been busy. He's taking some swings out there, but obviously he's got some discipline. I was really wanting to get the center Lindenbaum here. And, you know, but the Raiders, they were just not going to be outbid. And at some point, he had to decide that he's going to move on. So one of my big questions marks comes back to center. I don't know enough about Allegretti to know that if I'm totally comfortable with him. Seems like people are saying things like, well, I'm not sure if I want him as our starter. We need to get somebody. And I don't know if that's fair or not. But I do have a question mark on center when I look at the available players. And then I did have a quick question. For folks like Debo and for Jacob Martin that are out there, that are potentially people we want to have back.
Yeah.
When do we approach them? Are we waiting for the market to decide kind of what they're worth before we jump in and match an offer? Or
that's a great question. That not to cut you off, Raleigh, but that is a great question, a very astute question. And you know what? The answer to that is absolutely. They're letting them test the market. And the reason for that is because one thing you have to know about Adam Peters, and this comes from his track record and the places he's come from, they always do that. The New Englands, the Atlantas, the San Franciscos, everywhere he's been, that's what they do. They let their players test the market, and then they decide, okay, this team's made you this offer. Well, do we want to counter that? Do we want to go above that? You know, it basically gives him options as opposed to just throwing money away where you don't know what the market is for guys. And one thing, and I said this earlier tonight, one thing about Adam, he's not going to reset the market. He doesn't believe in that. He's not going to do it. Well, he may have to do it with Jaden when that comes up, but we still have another year or two before you even have to worry about that. So that's a great question.
Okay. Well, listen, Lake, thank you. I know you got a bunch going on. I will be back on Thursday. I'm going to be a regular.
Okay. I appreciate you, my friend, as always. Good talking with you. Take care now. Look, we just keep this thing rolling along because I see here on the monitor, we've got Josh calling in. And again, folks, I know I'm physically sitting here in the Richmond studios, but this show is out everywhere. So with that said, you know, if you're in Richmond too, call us up. That's what we do here. We got the 804 right here, the 804 number. So call us 804-327-0888. Josh is calling, and I know where he is too. He's in Minnesota. So these are all Commanders fans. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, brother, how are you, man?
I'm good. Good to talk with you. I love that these are my supporters. These are folks that know me personally. You know, have followed me for years, and they're the wise fans, the ones that just don't get all riled up too quick. You know, I'm sure you're calling to let me know patience.
That's the word for me. That's it. Patience, y'all. Just chill. Everybody's got to come.
I mean, think about it, Josh. They got a young edge rusher out of this. I mean,
dude, I'm still doing cartwheels without my shirt on down the street from that side. Are you kidding me?
You get a young edge rusher.
Jack.
That's what you want, So then you think about it. You think about they also extended Laramie. I mean, the two most glaring positions on a football field outside of a quarterback are, do you have an edge rusher that can be disruptive on defense, that can change the outcome of a game without being double teamed, without, having to blitz? This guy's a one-on-one wrecking ball, and they have one now. And his best days are ahead of him. Yeah, with young, athletic, speed. I mean, everything you want. They finally have that. They still have a 7th pick in the draft where they still could take another, defensive ace if one is sitting there, which we all think will be there. So why is everyone upset?
I don't know, man. But the 7th pick is wide open. I mean, with Kansas City signing Walker, I mean, it's just wide open. I don't know, but 25 plus years of PTSD, that was going to happen.
You already know it, but I've been saying this, and no offense to the younger fans, because like I've always said, if you're 35 or especially 40 or under, you really don't know the Commanders to be worth a hoot. You don't remember when they were the Redskins winning Super Bowls like the old heads like us, beyond 40 do. We remember all of that. But we also remember that it wasn't built overnight. It took time. And Joe Gibbs was on his way out if he didn't turn things around. And he changed his whole scheme from passing to running the football. So these are the type of things that you want to tell the young people, instant gratification society. I totally get it. But sometimes you got to work for it. It's just not going to fall in your lap. And I think that they need to be patient for a team that was just in the NFC Championship game, Josh, 2 years ago. I mean, my goodness gracious. Yeah.
And we've got a wise GM that has set his price, and he's not going to go past it. I mean, I'm thanking God for that right now.
Yeah, they're not going to go out and do the Bruce Smiths, and no offense, because I know Bruce got some love in this area where I am, but I'm just saying, when they signed Bruce, when he was at the end of his career looking for that sack to get a record, and then you have Mark Carrier, and they were going out, Adam Archuleta, going out and getting guys overpaying and doing those things. Adam Peters isn't going to do that. So you can't lump that old regime with this regime. They're doing two different ways of business. So my friend, I got to keep it rolling. I appreciate you calling as always. And I'll see you on Friday. All right. Appreciate you, man. All right. Look, they're just calling in. I got another call. All right. So I think Jack, after today, he's gonna let everyone here at ESPN know I'm never doing his show again.
No, this is great. This is fantastic, Lake. You got me putting to work over here.
All right, he's in the booth getting it done. So I have on my thing here. Oh my goodness, we got 2 callers, so we got to get them in quick. I got Herb from Waldorf calling. What's going on, Herb?
Family.
All right, what's up? There you go. Listen, now see, you are the Generation X fan. Are you upset?
Yeah.
Are you upset, or are you practicing patience right now?
I need somebody to talk me off the ledge, because I'm literally just I'm Sylvester Stallone cliffhanging right now. That's how much I'm ready to jump into the deep end, because I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, hey, when it comes down to I'm looking at the Linderbaum situation, the Phillips situation, and the Pierce. Those, not signing those, I am completely on. Don't overpay $9 million for a center. Don't overpay for a one-year wonder. Don't overpay for some guy who had a pretty decent season, but not overpay for him.
Right.
I get those. I'm not mad at those. What I'm mad at is the Romeo Dobbs, where you can afford $17.5 a year when you can get Devin Lloyd, who is a reasonable one. Quay Walker is a reasonable one. You're not even trying. Here's the thing. I have nothing against the three the backups, the corner, getting Tim Settle back in. I have nothing against those. I like those moves. I think you're not being aggressive enough, and that's the issue that I have.
So I think
I'm not sitting there saying just like go out and get you
Archuleta type, you just buy anyone. No. I'm not. I'm saying do your due diligence. But it's also looking at it from the standpoint of where it's like, hey, when are you a good closer at this point? That's the question I have as far as what.
Well, let me say this. I said it in the last segment. The situation with Romeo or Romeo Doubs is very simple. He has the opportunity to be a number one in New England. Washington offered good money. I know that for verbatim. They offered him a good opportunity, but he decided, you know what? Because I'm almost certain you're going to start hearing and seeing it. It came down to Washington and New England. Okay, so it's not like Adam wasn't trying to get him here, but at the end of the day, Romeo Doubs is the number one receiver now in New England. He wasn't going to be a number one receiver in Washington as long as Terry McLaurin's here, and there's an opportunity now to, we talk about Brandon Ayuk or maybe even Debo for that matter. There was an opportunity he could be a number 3 receiver or a 2A or 2B here. I think that people have to start thinking about that some guys aren't looking at Washington and Adam Peters like, I don't want to be there. I think they're looking at it like I have a bigger opportunity somewhere else, which should let fans understand that means that they view Washington as a team that does have some talent already in place.
That as far as offense, but what about defense? So
you just got an edge rusher. You just got,
No. I think the defensive end. That was a perfect one. I love that pickup. I love that one. I'm talking about linebacker at this point.
Well, there's still some opportunities. There's still some opportunities. They could resign
Sonny Styles.
Yeah, exactly.
I need somebody to talk me off the ledge because I am pressing
just
the panic button.
Do me a favor. Do this. Do this, my friend, because I do got to keep it rolling. But just think this. Think Sonny Styles. Okay, there we go. Just think Sonny Styles. That's all I need you to think, because if they walk away from that draft with Sonny Styles to be on this defense, you won't be worried at all, my friend. Trust me. But anyway, I appreciate you calling in. You can call in here anytime, my friend. All right. All right. So look, let's keep it rolling. I see another person on the monitor. They're coming in today. We got Rasheed Fry. That's Reverend Fry. Reverend Fry is out in California. So what's going on, Rev?
Hey, Lake, how are you, my guy?
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you calling. It's early out there. It's 3:30. So I definitely appreciate you taking time out of your day to check me out.
Not a problem at all. After last week, I was determined to make it happen, and just being in support. I appreciate you at such a level that whatever that I can feasibly do, as I told you, I would, and
I appreciate that.
To support and be a part of the, just riding on the coattail. There's a scripture that says, "Just let me touch the hem of his garment." So,
well, I
I'm riding the
appreciate that,
coattail.
man. We all family here. That's what we do, and I think for a lot of listeners, they're like, Lake's getting calls from all over the country, but I've always had these folks. These are people that I don't consider fans of mine. These are family members now. That's how close we are. So I appreciate that. That.
Yes, sir, exactly.
So let's get into it, because I'm being told we got like a minute here before I got to go to commercial. Let's do this. Patience, or are you angry right now as far as these moves?
No, going back from the beginning when we were really in the the dead season of this, I got absolute patience. I was on Herb's podcast because he went on one, and I was trying to talk him down then. But just because we have this money, AP and this crew, they're tacticians, and believe me, because they're sitting back and you don't see any movement, or we, the fans, don't mean that they are not in that war room strategizing the minimal amount of draft picks that we have this year, that they're trying to, and I said it on the show last week, we want quality over quantity. So if they have to wait and listen to the new OC and the new DC to get what they specifically need to be successful, then that's what we got to hold on to.
Well, I appreciate that, man. The voice of reason always, Reverend Fry. We got to take a quick commercial, but Rev, you know, I appreciate you calling, and you can call in here anytime you want, my friend. All right. All right. So look, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to have Cortland Griffin on, does a great job breaking down the NFL. He's at the combine with Jack and myself. So wait till you hear this guy. He's a wealth of knowledge. And he's also going to give me some insight on what's going on with the Titans, because they made a lot of moves too. So I want to pick his brain about that. So hang tight. You're listening to the Lake Lewis Jr. Show.
Conferences, meetings, and corporate celebrations. What do they all have in common? First impressions and coming together. Make every moment unforgettable with Classic Party Rentals of Virginia. From tents, tables, and chairs to luxury restroom trailers, we have everything to make your corporate event, wedding, or fundraising gala absolutely phenomenal. For event rentals that elevate any gathering, visit classicpartyrentalsva.com.
This is advertising material. Medical mistakes can devastate families when doctors fail to provide the care you deserve. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys stand ready to fight for justice. They recovered over $2 billion for their clients injured by negligence, surgical errors, and misdiagnoses. They take on powerful hospitals and their insurance companies, so you don't have to, but time is limited. Call now for a free consultation. No fees unless they win your case. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys, 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Hey, Tri-Cities, Michael with Incredible HVAC. If your power bill keeps climbing, your HVAC system might be the reason. Regular maintenance keeps your system running efficiently, helps prevent breakdowns, and can lower your monthly energy costs. If your system's older, upgrading to a high-efficiency unit could save you hundreds every year in your power bills. At Incredible HVAC, we'll walk you through your options. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest advice that makes sense for your home and your budget. Visit us online at IncredibleHVAC.com. Incredible HVAC, bringing comfort to your home and your community.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
Everyone has unique abilities. And with Able Now, individuals with disabilities are able to save money while maintaining certain benefits, such as Medicaid. Able Now is a tax advantage savings program specifically designed for people with disabilities. Open an account online today and start saving for the things that are important to you. To learn if you or someone you know is eligible, visit ablenow.com. Able Now is administered by Commonwealth Savers.
Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fits the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fits the Bill ESPN RVA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fits the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram.
Say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up, my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when
Welcome back, folks. Lake Lewis Jr. Show right here. I see you, Jack. I mean, I greatly underestimated your musical taste because you need stuff like that to get you amped up, get you excited.
I'm a little offended at what you thought my music taste was.
I apologize. I did tell everybody that I had an awesome time with you in Indianapolis, that you blended in, you fit in right with the crew, and everybody spoke glowingly about you too. So I did want to let you know that.
Hey, I'm already counting down the days until next year's Fogo de Chao meetup that we've got on the books.
My guy, he took care of me, man. We went to Fogo de Chao, and I can't believe I ate all that, man. That was they just kept bringing it out, and I'm like, my God, how much meat is there? Wonderful place, though. They treated us like rock stars because of Jack. I got to tell you that. So let's keep this thing rolling. I've got a guest calling in right now, and this is a person that I got to tell you, a couple years ago, just a quick little story here. A couple years ago, this young guy was sitting next to me in Indianapolis at the combine, ironically. And it wasn't a whole lot of people in there. You know, we were in there watching some drills, and the guy was just talking about every player that was going through the drills, and he broke them down, their measurables, the school they went to. Hell, he even talked about the high schools they came from. And, you know, we just talked, and he told me that, you know, this is what he wanted to do, and he was on his way up. And I was like, well, we're going to keep in touch. And 3 years later, I got to tell you that I'm just so proud of this kid, man. And he's the kid to me because he's younger, but he's really doing his thing. And he and his wife are just two wonderful people. So let me bring him on right now. I'm talking about Courtland Griffin, you know, NFL draft analyst and scout for On the Clock. And he's like my official, a resident guy that I need to go to when I need something here on ESPN. So what's going on, Courtland?
Oh, nothing much, man. It's a pleasure to be, you know, here on ESPN Radio in Richmond. So this is a new territory for me. So I'm excited.
Man, I've said this a long time ago. You're one of my young pups, man, that I had to bring on, man, you know, because you do so much great things. And, you know, when we were at the combine this year and we saw all these great young talents, and I'm sitting here saying, you know, a lot of people, obviously this Commander centric, and, you know, a lot of fans are like, they're throwing their hands up right now. Like, what have the Commanders done? I need somebody that's in this with me to let people understand them getting, you know, Odafe Oweh, or Odafe. That's actually how you pronounce it. Oweh. That's a great move for the Commanders. Don't you agree with that? They get a young edge rusher that they desperately needed.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing pickup for the Washington Commanders for sure, especially with Dante Fowler leaving last year, returning to the Cowboys, and now you get a guy who's very similar in skill set to that. So, and we saw what that defense was able to do, what Dan Quinn and those guys were able to do with that kind of talent. And here's the thing: I don't want people to let the price tag scare them, right? Like, you see the $100 million and you automatically say, oh, $25 million, that's a little steep. But if you know, his guaranteed money at $68 million, you're getting a guy who can give you 8.5 to 10 sacks for about $17 million, which is essentially rotational, you know, pass rusher money. So, I mean, that was a really good move. And I think the initial shock value of that triple digit price tag is what got people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, and I think that's what's going on across the league right now. And, you know, we can talk overall, you know, just the big names on the move. And I got to say, you know, when you talk about teams that have won so far, I think the team that you cover in Tennessee is right up there at the top. I mean, the Raiders are having a great one. The Giants are having a great one. The Rams, by basically bringing over Kansas City secondary, they're having a good setup.
Yeah.
You know, but Tennessee, Robert Saleh, first year coming in there. And if anyone thought that Tennessee hiring Robert was, you know, I got to stop calling people on first name basis when you know them. So for anyone thinking that Robert Saleh, you know, being the head coach in Tennessee was just, you know, that's the coach that they could get, you know, it wasn't much. No, they're letting you know that they're going to let him run the show and build that team and his identity. And they're making moves right now on defense for this football team.
Yeah, it's amazing when you see a team that has that much money, and then you're watching how they're building, right? Matriculating through free agency. One of the bigger moves was John Franklin Myers, who we talked about, and I kind of had mentioned it to you when we were in Indianapolis, and I was like, I think he's going to be a guy that they end up with, and lo and behold, you get him on a 3-year, $3 million deal, $42 million guaranteed, right? Alontae Taylor and Cordell Flott, two young, you know, DBs with a lot of versatility, a lot of length, which Robert Saleh loves in that kind of pseudo zone, big nickel scheme. And then you add Josh Williams, who's another young cornerback with a lot of upside, so and special teams capability. So I think ultimately you're watching them build on top of what they already have. You're putting John Franklin Myers, who had 8.5 sacks on his own last year in Denver, next to 11.5 sacks with Jeffrey Simmons. These are two guys that you now have to choose if you're offensive line who you're going to block one-on-one or double team. Which is going to help those guys on the outside, Femi Oladejo, who's a young second-year player, and then also Jermaine Johnson, who got traded for last week. So you're getting that, and then that secondary now has an infusion of young talent, and it's going to help those safeties on the back end cover, sideline to sideline, hash mark to hash mark, and really make things difficult. So it's just, like I said, it's a really exciting time for the Tennessee Titans right now, and what they're going to be able to do on the defensive side of the ball, and that's only going to help Cam Ward and that offense get more opportunities and see the field better.
Yeah, and shout out to Kevin Winston, Penn Stater. We are, I'll do it on here. That's people are going to get sick of me saying it, but that's just, I got to show love to my school.
Another young stud, man. Another young stud.
Yeah, so I do got to ask you now, making all these defensive moves, John Franklin Myers, like you said, big time move for them to pair up with Jeffrey Simmons. That's going to be scary in the trenches. But I got to ask you this. Do you still want the monster? And you know who I'm talking about, because I know how much you like Ruben Bain. I know the short arms. He can't put them in his pockets, whatever. He's a monster. And he said it himself, self-proclaimed, I'm a monster. Do you still want him? Is that something you would consider?
Yes, and honestly, the only thing that would change that is if they were able to maybe land a Trey Hendrickson on a multi-year deal. So, that's the only thing that would change that for me. Honestly, I know the team is being kind of linked to Jeremiah Love.
They have,
and for good reason. Mm-hmm. But to me, you add Ruben Bain on that defensive line next to JFM and Jeff, and then Jermaine, and then, who knows what you're going to have at the linebacker position, adding to Cody Barton, Cedric Gray. We don't know who that third is going to be, but whomever it is, right? You put Ruben Bain down there on that defensive front, and you got four guys that can go get the quarterback while also being a threat to stop the run. And that to me is really exciting. And I think you have to jump at the chance to get that if you're Robert Saleh.
All right, folks, talking with Cortland Griffin, does a great job, NFL draft scout, analyst, for On the Clock, and also my resident guy here at ESPN. So we got about, 45 seconds left here, but I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. Who would you say right now, which teams, top three teams, have had the best free agency signing period so far?
Well, I think we've talked about one with the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to say the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, with all of that money, generally you see teams, they spend a lot of money and it's a lot of empty moves, but I think they made some moves to really put themselves in a position to make some noise next year. And then the Cleveland Browns being able to get fill their offensive line and really be able to kind of build that front and that wall in front of Shedeur Sanders and kind of get that offense back on track for Todd Monken.
Man, this is why I bring him on. Jack remembers you as well, so I haven't heard too many people mention Cleveland. So that goes to show you this guy sees something a little different. And I do agree that they have to do a lot. Todd Monken's the new coach there. You got to protect the trenches, man. And you also, to help a young quarterback, you got to keep him upright. So good stuff there. Well, look, my friend, we got to keep it moving. This radio. Appreciate you coming on. I'm going to have you on here frequently. So keep doing your thing. All right.
Man, anytime. I appreciate it, Lake.
All right, take care now. All right, folks. Look, Cortland Griffin does an awesome job. Make sure you check him out On the Clock. Everything on that site, he's done that. As far as all the players, hundreds of players, the full breakdown of them, that's from him. That's the guy who sits in the stadium at the combine from sun up to sundown. I got to pull him out of there. So look, do we have to take a break, Jack, real quick? Yes, we're going to take a break real quick. And when we come back, I still got some people that are calling in. We want to try to get everybody on. So when we come back here on the Lake Lewis Jr. Show, we'll open up those phone lines even more. So hang tight.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
On eBay, every find has a story. Like if you're looking for a vintage band tee, not just any tee, the band tee. You wore it everywhere until your best friend stole it. Now you're on eBay, and there it is. Same tee from the same tour. The things you love have a way of finding their way back to you, especially on eBay. Where else can you find that mint trading card you searched everywhere for, or your first car, the one you wish you never sold? It has to be eBay. Shop eBay for millions of finds, each with a story. eBay, things people love.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Richmond's waking up to sports talk that hits different. It's Fits the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. Weekdays from 8 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Richmond.
Beat goes on. Beat goes on.
Welcome back to the Lake Lewis TV show. I got a little chuckle out of that because that's Jack being facetious right now. Look that word up, Jack.
hey, give me all the Sonny and Cher we can have before we draft Sonny Styles here in Washington.
Good stuff. Listen, I said we're going to keep the phone lines open, and we have another call from Bud, and Bud is calling from Lynchburg, Virginia. So what's going on, Bud? Big Bud, that's who it is. It is. What's up, man?
Hey, what's how you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Good to have you calling in.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Well, like we've been talking all day about, the Commanders fans, do you need to practice patience with Adam Peters, or are you just, upset because supposedly the way it looks is that they're not throwing all this money around, which I can refute and tell you that they have made plenty of offers. But if other guys choose to go somewhere else, they feel like that's best for them and their families, and you can't be mad at Adam Peters for not reeling them in. So what's your take on that?
I'm okay with what's transpiring so far. I know at the end of the day, you're going to have 90 guys out there to compete in OTAs and all that crap, and the cream's going to rise to the top, and we're going to get what we need. I am a little disappointed because I allowed the media to kind of gas me up a little.
Well, not me. I
did just a little, Lake. I did. I wanted a big splash yesterday a little bit. As much as I preach patience, I was waiting to hear some things called. But once we got our defensive end, everything, I was ready to go to bed. Then I was done after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm patient. I trust Adam's work. I trust the people that giving him information know what they're doing. They've been doing it a long time. They clearly know more than I do. So there's no need to get emotionally involved.
I love when I hear fans say that because, there are fans out there that feel like they could step in someone's chair and do their job and not understand there's so many so many nuances to doing what you're doing, you know, and heck,
yeah.
I even go through it, you know, with me, you know, as an NFL guy. And then obviously now I'm doing this on radio too. You know, people are like, oh, I could do both your jobs. You know, I don't want to say I could come into your job and do yours, you know? So it takes a lot to do it. And I've been trying to tell people, be patient with Adam, because the mess that they inherited, you know, when Josh Harris brought the team, you know, and hired, you know, Adam, he had to go out and find his coach, you know, and
yes, sir.
You know, so the coach that he brought in, whether people like him or not, my thing is the guy in their first year, all of them together, they went to the NFC Championship game last year. Last year was a lot of injuries, bud. Yeah, as everyone knows, a lot. And it derailed the season before it got going. It really did. So I think they feel like they're closer to the team from 2 years ago than what you saw last year. They're closer to the 12-5 than they are the 5-12 if everyone's healthy and they make these additions. And I think with that being said, this is why you need to practice that patience.
Yep, absolutely. You know, it's one of those situations where, you know, you're going to allow the draft and free agency to help you achieve a goal. And ain't no sense of going out here overspending because you got the money. I like Benzes too, but ain't nothing wrong with Camrys and 300s and all the rest of that stuff.
It's still going to get you where you got to go.
It's still going to get me where I got to go. And it's still going to be efficient. I'm still going to save gas. I still got the safety features. Come on. We can go down the line.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, look, folks, we got to get ready to wrap up today's show, bud. I appreciate you calling. You know, you are more than welcome to call in anytime from down there in Lynchburg.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
All right. Take care. That was a good one today, folks. Appreciate you taking time out of your day. I'll be back here on Thursday. Remember, check out my guy, Jack Fitzpatrick, tomorrow on Fits the Bill from 8 to 10. If you didn't get a chance to call in today, call him tomorrow morning. We'll have more to talk about. I'll be on his show tomorrow morning. Have a good night, everyone.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year.